Welcome to Marks British Airways Fleet Update, looking at short and long-haul fleets.
Welcome to the British Airways Fleet Update as we transition from the winter to the summer timetable. And that gives me an opportunity to talk a bit about the schedule changes. I don't want to go on at great length, so I'm just going to do the long haul schedule changes. Short haul's not so detailed because, of course, British Airways really only have the Airbus fleet to choose from. But we'll talk about that next time. Let's move on and have a look at Gatwick then, the schedule for the summer, the 777-200s based at Gatwick. One of the things BA have been doing is just sort of stretching the winter, maybe stretching the summer schedules either side of the normal change date of the 30th of March. So Bangkok winter service, that now continues till the 26th of April. Service enhancements to Cancun are not happening. New York JFK doesn't resume until the 28th of April. Of course, that fits in with Bangkok, same aircraft no doubt being used. Vancouver doesn't pick up from Gatwick until the 4th of June, and all of the changes at Heathrow and Gatwick mean they're able to move one 777 from Heathrow with 272 seats. That'll be picking up work to Accra, Antigua, St. Kitts, Islamabad, New York, JFK, Orlando, St. Lucia, and Tampa. So moving on to Heathrow, Abu Dhabi disappears completely. Bahrain was going to disappear, but that is reinstated, 3 flights a week with a Dreamliner. Austin, Texas, the existing BA 191 gets a 777-200 instead of an A350, but extra capacity comes in with the new BA 187, 6 flights a week with a Dreamliner stroke 8. Chicago, all of the 3 flights transition to 777s, 200s and 300s. Dallas, Fort Worth has been an A380 that disappears from the schedule completely, tentatively coming back in October. Delhi gets an A350-1000 on one rotation. The third daily flight disappears. Doha, slight reduction, 14 to 12 flights a week. Dubai gets a 777-300 planned operation replaced by a Dreamliner. Hong Kong gets the A350-1000, but only 1 flight a day, not 2. Houston gets a downgrade to a 7879. Jeddah, reduction in flights. Johannesburg in South Africa gets 2 A380s a day from the 1st of June. That's quite an interesting development. Kuala Lumpur finally kicks off with a Dreamliner. Kuwait disappears after many, many years from the BA schedules. Las Vegas, some reductions in frequency that mean they still just retain 1 flight a day through the high summer. Miami goes down to 1 flight a day with an A380. Mumbai, quite complex changes there around aircraft type and some frequency reductions. Nairobi sees some changes with an extra A350-1000. Nashville changes to a 777, but some extra capacity, 3 days a week with a Dreamliner. Newark and New York JFK, but are swapping around between 777s and 787s. And the daily Philadelphia flight transitions across to an A350. I'm flying out on that this coming Saturday, so that'll be interesting to have a look at. The A350-1000 comes off Rio de Janeiro, replaced by a 777-200. Riyadh, big service increase there with a mix of 777s and 787s. San Diego gets a 777-300 and retains the Dreamliner -8. There's a couple of months where the San Francisco operation is served with double daily A380s through until the 31st of May, obviously prior to the Joburg operation going live. Seattle, change in fleet mix to a 787-8 and a 777-300. And Vancouver goes twice daily, 14 flights a week, but loses its A350 1000. So also just say a little bit about Washington DC, the third daily flight with a 7878, the A380 reappears, and a 777-200 on the other flight. So that moves us on to have a look at what's been going on around the fleet. The CityFlyer fleet still got 2 aircraft, Lima Charlie Alpha Charlie, Lima Charlie Yankee uniform in Exeter, and Lima Charlie Yankee Tango, which made 2 trips to Exeter in March for maintenance, brief trips that returned back to London City on the 24th of March. Over on the Euroflyer fleet, Golf Alpha Tango November saw its skin nose repairs completed at Heathrow on the 25th of March. It flew from Heathrow across to Gatwick, picked up its duties to Morocco the next day. Golf Alpha Tango Romeo, Golf Alpha Tango Sierra remain under maintenance at Glasgow. Mike Echo Delta Kilo remains on lease to the mainline operation at Heathrow, and Echo Uniform X-Ray Charlie flew from Birmingham back to Gatwick on the 24th of March, with Echo Uniform X-Ray Juliet going the other way earlier in the day. Just a reminder, a couple of aircraft on a wet lease from Titan Airways, and Papa Oscar Whiskey Mike, Papa Oscar Whiskey Uniform are the 2 aircraft in question. They're doing a variety of rotations in and out of Gatwick each day, not sticking just to one fixed route. Over at London Heathrow, the Airbus fleet beginning to settle down a bit. They've been really having a purge over the last few months of outstanding maintenance, but of course, as we head towards the summer schedules, they need a lot of those aircraft back in traffic. Delta Bravo Charlie Golf remains at Birmingham, partial cabin refit. That's the final one of that batch of 319s to receive that work. My understanding is the 319s that have not been treated with that refit will be, withdrawn over the next couple of years. Echo Uniform Papa Romeo, which is one of those aircraft, actually remains at Abu Dhabi. It's been there since the 6th of January. It's a bit odd, that aircraft, actually 3 months on the ground at Abu Dhabi, which is rather a long time for a maintenance check, particularly for an aircraft that doesn't have a very long-term future. So just seems there's something slightly odd. If you know anything about Echo Uniform Papa Romeo out at Abu Dhabi, do let me know. Echo Uniform Yankee Delta remains at Madrid, as does Tango Tango November Juliet. Echo Uniform Yankee Oscar at Dublin for maintenance, being there since the 24th of Feb. And Echo Uniform Echo returned from Shannon repaint on the 24th of March, but nothing's replaced it because that's obviously something that was possible through the winter schedules. Echo Uniform Whiskey remains in Malta for maintenance. November Echo Oscar Tango remains in Madrid. Just a little update for some activity on Friday the 28th of March. Echo Uniform Foxtrot was deployed on the BA 9260 out to Châteauroux, the Saint Marcel Dassault Airport out there, however you're supposed to pronounce that. Spent all day there, came back as the BA 9261. They obviously had a bit more fun than they were anticipating because it left about an hour late, but pretty intensive program of airfield circuits. If you have a look on the amazing Flight Radar 24, you'll see that aircraft just going round and round at Châteauroux airfield, and clearly British Airways having a look at airports which can best support that type of activity. Not many airports can do that and give the pilots the type of freedom that they had at Châteauroux, being able to pretty much monopolise the runway for uh, the whole of the day. And British Airways have got a lot of pilots in training. They're recruiting a lot of people. They've got a lot of pilots retiring, but they've also got um, service developments and so on. So very, very important that they get this done. And you can undertake some of this on scheduled flights, but clearly to put trainee pilots on a scheduled flight, even if it's a relatively short flight, they only get one takeoff, one landing, um, per flight. It sort of sounds obvious, but while this does tie up an aircraft away from commercial duties, it just allows British Airways to crack on through that pilot training, through the assessment process, through the pilot pass out process significantly quicker. And it does make sense, particularly in an environment over the last couple of years where British Airways has actually been cancelling some flights due to a shortage of crew. New aircraft, a quick update on the screen there of what's been going on with the new aircraft. As these aircraft arrive, it will allow BA to play around with its Airbus fleet, and that includes the scrapping of some of the older aircraft in the fleet. The most significant development, Golf Tango Tango Sierra Foxtrot, was delivered on Friday, the 28th of March, from Hamburg Finkenwerder to London Heathrow. Airbus A380 fleet, X-Ray Lima Echo Bravo, remains in Manila. And apart from the period when Heathrow closed, actually the dispatch record of the A380 fleet's not too bad. Couple of issues, but generally performing a bit better, which may just be a bit of luck. Maybe perhaps a sign that things are improving. So we'll skip the Airbus A350s. There's nothing significant to report there. Move on to the 777 fleet. Gatwick configured Victor India India Papa. That returned to service on the 24th of March with an Antigua flight. Yankee Mike Mike November remains at Cardiff with maintenance still ongoing. Victor India India Whiskey remains at Cardiff for its club suites fitment. That's the last example to be fitted. And Victor India India Echo remains at Cardiff, having flown in from Tirol during the Heathrow disruption. Smallest number of 777s out of use for some time, actually. And we're anticipating, once India Whiskey gets its club suites fitment sorted, that number may come down a little bit further. 787s and Dreamliners, well, Zulu Bravo Kilo Hotel remains at Abu Dhabi, been there since the 21st of Feb. Zulu Bravo Juliet Bravo remains at Cardiff for maintenance, and Zulu Bravo Juliet Delta, its sister ship, that's at Cardiff for club suites fitment. Just a reminder, we're not sure that aircraft's ready to go back into service once fitted. We're not sure where it got to with its Rolls-Royce engine work. And Zulu Bravo Kilo Kilo remains out of use at London Heathrow since the 20th of March. That's the table that I present to you each and every presentation, just to talk about the current Dreamliner position. British Airways, of course, justifying the removal of a number of flights from the schedules based on 787 availability being worse than they had hoped for. Well, that just about wraps up this British Airways fleet update. I hope you found that useful. Hope you found it useful to get an update on a number of the key changes to the schedules for this summer on the long haul operation. We'll pick up the short haul, the Euroflyer, CityFlyer headlines. It's difficult to talk about every single change and every route, but I'll pick that up next time. If you've got any thoughts on what I've said, do let me know. It's always nice when you bang the like button on your YouTube device. I appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed, and I know quite a lot of you watch these updates and you don't subscribe, which is fine, but it'd be better for you if you did subscribe. I do try and put updates on some of the key British Airways Facebook sites and so on, but it's not always possible. And you don't have to wait for those. You can just get an automatic notification if you subscribe to my channel and press the notification button. You'll just get a little ping through every time I bring you a new video. So I hope you find that useful, and I'll catch you here on Marks Trains, Planes and Trams very, very soon.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and click the notification button so you don't miss any of the great trips Mark has coming your way on this YouTube channel.